The episode continues as Admiral Kizaru arrives at Dr. Vegapunk's laboratory on Egghead Island because of the presence of Kuma. Marines stormed the island accompanied by X-Drake as Kizaru revealed to Vegapunk that spy transponder snails were planted everywhere in the facility. Kizaru then brought a transponder snail through which St. J. Garcia Saturn, one of the 5 elders, communicates with Vegapunk and Kuma. Having eavesdropped on prior conversation, Saturn spoke that he refused the idea of making Kuma a candidate of the Pacifista Project. He continued that it will ruin the Navy's reputation because he's a pirate and a criminal with bounty of 296 million. With that in mind, Saturn proceeded to reveal 3 things Kuma must honor if he wished to cure Bonney. Firstly, he demanded that Kuma must become one of the 7 warlords of the seas. This is necessary to maintain peace because the previous warlord was killed by a rookie named Ace. Secondly, you must undergo procedures to become a human weapon for the Navy. Suddenly, the air intensifies as Kuma questions Saturn with a grim look. "Are you talking about modifying my body?" Saturn replied, "Yes, you have all the traits required to be an effective warlord, so that pirates will fear you after enhancements. But because you're a former member of the Revolutionary Army, we must make sure that you never betray us. And this now leads to the 3rd and final requirements. You must agree to give up your free will and sense of individuality." Lashing out in sudden anger, Vegapunk shouted at Saturn saying, "That would be the same as killing, and this is because none of the warlords follow orders, isn't it? If you remove all the humanity left in a cyborg, he'll be nothing but a robot. Do you really expect me to murder a man?" Quickly, Saturn stopped Vegapunk by reminding him that he's only a military scientist. These conditions must be met if the criminal truly intends to cure his daughter. It's a small price to pay considering how expensive and difficult the procedure is. Otherwise, I have no obligation to help this girl. Vegapunk kept on persuading Saturn to change his mind, but Kuma interrupted him with his face down, saying, "Vegapunk, please do it. Have been worrying all these time thinking that it'll be impossible to save Bonney." With outburst of tears, Kuma spoke out saying, "I'm so grateful. I'll happily accept my fate, so long Bonney is cured." This emotional moment shocked everyone. The scene then shifted briefly towards Bonney, who's playing happily with Sentomaru, running down the hallway. Saturn asked Vegapunk how long it would take to cure Bonney and finish Kuma's modifications. Vegapunk replied that it would take 1.5 years for Bonney and 2 years minimum for Kuma. Kuma then bowed his head as he sighed in relief, saying, "Thank goodness Bonney will really be okay by the time she turns 10. Suddenly, Saturn spoke out in distrust as he revealed that the world government will take custody of Bonney to make sure Kuma fulfill his end of the bargain. Furious Vegapunk replied, "But that would mean Kuma won't get to see Bonney after she's cured." Saturn answered, "Correct. His modifications will commence immediately. It'll be an ongoing process so that he can work as a warlord, and also shun the thoughts of escaping with his daughter. If any form of defiance is spotted, his daughter will be taken as a slave." This statement sent warning vibes to Kuma as he consented to the agreement. He then asked Saturn for a favor, begging that no one should let Bonney know that she's being kept as a hostage. He continued that Bonney treatment should be done at his church in Sorbet Kingdom, not some soulless facility. With conviction, he spoke out, "If you can grant that one request, then I promise that I won't seek her out." Agreeing to the decision, Saturn replied that it makes no difference where she's being kept. As long as the government oversees it, there's no problem. Looks like we have an interesting 2 years ahead of us. Kuma then walked to Bonney to tell her that they will be staying at Egghead Island for the next 6 months. Excited, Bonney asked, "So you're staying with me?" Kuma replied, "Yes, they think I'm also sick too." Bonney jumped up for joy as he introduced Sentomaru to his father, Kuma. Sentomaru warned them that there are many windowless rooms here and some of the gadgets might be dangerous. Vegapunk continued with his research as future ideas for Egghead, and more came flowing through his mind. He spoke out in excitement, "This is gonna keep me busy forever. I wish there were 3 or 5 of me." Finally, Kuma modifications and Bonney curing began. Bonds were formed as Kuma even helped in chores. Over the next 6 months, Kuma, Bonney, Vegapunk, Sentomaru, and even Kizaru grow closer, sharing moments like a pizza party and dancing to the drums of liberation, a reference to the sun god Nika. After 6 months, Bonney's treatment concludes successfully, so she was sent back to Sorbet Kingdom. Relatives and elders all welcome her, as they were excited upon her arrival. Granny Connie felt grateful that Bonney is all right and she's cured. With a thank you, Kuma left Bonney under Granny Connie's care, hinting that he will not be back until after a year. Excited, Bonney spoke out to her dad, "I can't wait. I want to travel to all sort of places together." Kuma became happy outwardly, but in his mind, he wept in tears as he knew that was impossible. Cypher Paul 8, an intelligence division led by a woman named Alpha, took the task of monitoring Bonney as a hostage, pretending to be a medical checkup team. She barged into the church towards Bonney, declaring to everyone that she's a nurse and will be in charge of monitoring her health. She laid down rules hinting that no one will be allowed to visit except they come with identifications. Complaints broke about the new structure outside, but she revealed that it's where she will be staying. Turning towards Kuma, she took a piece of stone and broke it before his eyes to threaten him that this will be the fate of your daughter if you try anything stupid. Kuma got the message sound and clear, hinting that he's not coming back again. So he bid his farewell, saying, "Thank you, Bonney. I'm so glad you were born." Then he left, walking out of everyone's life. Pirates around the world became utterly shocked as Kuma showed full obedience towards the world government. Reactions sparked from various characters, including the original warlords, who became curious about Kuma's strength, behavior, and powers. Whitebeard and his crew react to the news. Jinbel was shocked that Kuma is a king, so he wondered what the future holds for the pirate world. Snake Princess Boa expressed no concern towards the news as it doesn't affect her, even though she was being pressured by Granny Neon. The Revolutionary Army became surprised as they were baffled by Kuma's allegiance towards the world government. Kuma continued to sail the seas even though he was attacked frequently. He wrote his first letter to Bonney, which says, "Dear Bonney, I'm still at sea as I write this, have become quite known, and it's getting harder by the day to sail in peace. But I'm doing okay. I'm trying to find a good travel destination for you when you turn 10. I hope everyone is doing well at home as I'm doing." With happiness, he wrapped up the letter and gave it to Newsco to deliver it. The episode concludes with Kuma arriving at Fuchsia Village in the East Blue, Luffy's hometown, on an undisclosed mission from the world government, receiving orders which aren't revealed yet. As Kuma's ship docks, he noticed teenage Luffy running through the forest, fleeing from a tiger. The video ends. Please subscribe and turn on notifications for the next episode.